What if one speech could change your life? What if listening to one voice every day could rebuild your discipline, erase your doubts, sharpen your vision, and rewire your mindset to think like a winner? Here's the truth. This video can change your life, but only if you don't just watch it once. This isn't background noise. This isn't entertainment. This is mental reprogramming. It's designed to be played daily. First thing in the morning, when your mind is wide open, when your defenses are down, when the new programming can take hold. Because in those first few minutes of the day, your mind is like wet cement, ready to take shape. And what you feed it first will echo all day long. That's how autosuggestion works, the way you influence your subconscious mind. Not through force, not through hype, but through repetition, through emotionalized belief, through the decision to install a new identity, thought by thought, day by day. This is the exact method used by the most powerful minds in history. Henry Ford didn't just build machines, he built a belief system. He repeated it until it ran deeper than doubt. He said, "Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right." Thomas Edison failed 10,000 times, not because he was stubborn, but because he had already succeeded in his mind. He had seen the light before the world did. Andrew Carnegie didn't just demand production from his workers, he demanded mental clarity. He wanted leaders who studied their own thinking, like engineers study blueprints, with precision, with purpose, with intensity. That's what you're doing here. You're not just watching a video. You're installing a new system. This is your daily mental armor, your weapon against distraction, against fear, against the voice of the past that still tries to hold you back. So if you're serious about becoming the kind of person who doesn't flinch, who moves with conviction, who lives by design, don't just watch this once. Play it again tomorrow, and again, and again. Because the version of you you're becoming doesn't rise from hype. It rises from habit. And this is the habit that rewrites everything. Your mind is programmable, by design or by default. This is where the design begins. Let's rewire it, line by line, until your old self has no place in the future you're building. Listen carefully, because what you hear in these next few minutes will echo through every decision you make, every room you walk into, and every goal you chase. You are not lazy. You are not broken. You are not behind. You've just been trained, conditioned to think like everyone else, to second-guess your greatness, to wait for permission, to let the world hand you your identity. But that ends now. You are a builder, a creator, a finisher. You wake up with purpose. You move with clarity. And today, you train your mind to follow you, not your feelings. This is the beginning of your mental rewrite. You are not your past. You are not your emotions. You are not your circumstances. You are your execution. You are your standards. You are what you decide to install in this exact moment. So say this with me now, not quietly, not casually, but with power. I do not negotiate with weakness. I do not wait for motivation. I lead my mind. I lead my mission. I lead my life. Every great man you admire, every titan who changed the world, woke up with the same war inside: fear, doubt, distraction. But they trained their minds like weapons. They fed their beliefs like oxygen, and they did it daily. Charles M. Schwab, who helped Carnegie build the greatest steel empire of the industrial era, didn't rise to power because he was the smartest in the room. He rose because he had direction, because he knew who he was. because his presence, his clarity, and his self-command made others follow, even without a word. He didn't check in with his feelings. He checked in with his standards. That's what you're doing now. You're setting the tone. You're taking control. You're creating identity on purpose, not by accident. Say it again. I know who I am. I know what I'm building. And I know what matters today. I execute with precision. There is no room for chaos. There is no time for distraction. You are not logging into the world today. You are logging into your mission. Understand this. Most people will wake up today and immediately scroll. They will scroll their goals away, scroll their focus away, scroll their discipline away. Not you. You locked in the second your eyes opened. This is your time. This is your reminder. And this is your daily software update. The code that kills the noise, overrides hesitation, and installs your next level. You are not average. You were just trained to think small. But that training has expired. Now you train like a professional. You move like someone with definiteness of purpose. No more drifting. No more, we'll see how I feel. No more waiting for confidence. Confidence is earned through repetition. You build it by following through. So say it again, louder this time. I follow through. I don't flinch. I don't fold. I finish what I start. When the doubt comes, you override it. When the feelings fade, you don't fade with them. When the voice says, take it easy, you get to work. You don't need hype. You don't need cheerleaders. You need this every morning, first thing. Because this isn't motivation. This is your mental blueprint. A blueprint that carves out clarity while others are confused. A blueprint that installs discipline while others are distracted. A blueprint that you listen to daily. Because autosuggestion isn't theory, it's real. Repetition with purpose plus emotion repeated over time equals your identity. This is how the greats built their empires, not by chance, but by command. Not by waiting, but by deciding who they were every morning. So decide now. Who are you today? Who do you choose to be? Not based on mood, not based on circumstance, based on standard. Because from this point forward, your energy is different. Your words are different. Your actions are different. You are no longer thinking like your old self. You are becoming your real self, one decision at a time. So walk differently today. Talk differently today. Work differently today. Because this isn't just another speech. This is your identity installer. This is the voice that rewires you. And when you show up tomorrow, and the next day, and the next, the world won't recognize the person you used to be. You will walk like a builder, a warrior, a man who trained his mind before the world had a chance to touch it. Let's install the right attributes. There's one question most people never ask when they try to change their life. What exactly should I reprogram my mind with? Because it's not just about thinking positive. It's about installing the right attributes, the rare traits that build legacy. If you study every titan of industry, every outlier in history, you'll see the same pattern. Different fields, different backgrounds, but the same core qualities. Let's go through them now. And not just talk about them. Let's speak them into existence. Quality 1. Relentless self-belief. Henry Ford wasn't the best engineer. He wasn't the wealthiest. But what he had was belief that refused to back down. When others saw obstacles, he saw blueprints. He once said, "Obstacles are those frightful things you see when you take your eyes off your goal." Say this now. I am the kind of person who believes when no one else does. I do not wait for permission. I move because I've already decided. Quality 2. Definiteness of purpose. Andrew Carnegie demanded this from every man in his circle. If you were scattered, you were out. If you hesitated, you were gone. He didn't want dabblers. He wanted men with one obsession. Say this: I am the kind of person who knows exactly what I'm building. I do not drift. I do not dabble. I live with precision. My goals are not optional. They are orders. Quality 3. Controlled emotion. Charles Schwab once said, "A man can succeed at almost anything for which he has unlimited enthusiasm. But enthusiasm without control, that's chaos." Schwab's gift wasn't just his energy, it was his emotional command. He could lead others because he could lead himself. Say this now: I am the kind of person who does not flinch. I respond. I don't react. I move with composure. I operate with command. Quality 4. Obsession with repetition. Every morning, Thomas Edison went to work like a man possessed. He didn't try, he obsessed. 10,000 failures didn't break him because he wasn't repeating tasks. He was repeating conviction. Say this: I am the kind of person who shows up daily with fire. Repetition is my edge. Repetition is my leverage. I repeat power until it becomes who I am. Quality 5. Execution over excuses. None of the legends waited for motivation. They weren't seduced by feeling ready. They moved. Edison showed up. Ford shipped product. Carnegie didn't care if you were tired. He wanted results. Greatness doesn't bend for mood. Say this now: I am the kind of person who executes regardless of emotion. I don't need the perfect mood. I build momentum with motion. I don't talk about action. I live in it. Quality 6. Faith through action. Faith is a state of mind that may be induced by autosuggestion, but autosuggestion without action, that's fantasy. Belief without movement is a lie. Real faith moves. Say it: I am the kind of person who proves belief with action. I am not just hopeful, I am active. My habits validate my vision. Quality 7. Endurance under pressure. Carnegie, Edison, Ford, Schwab. They were all tested, betrayed, criticized, rejected. But they didn't fold. Why? Because they had mental conditioning. Their minds were trained for the storm. And so is yours, if you choose it. Say this now: I am the kind of person who thrives under pressure. I grow stronger in resistance. Discomfort is the signal T that I'm evolving. Quality 8. Ruthless focus. Focus isn't just about productivity, it's about identity. If you lose focus, you lose yourself. That's why Carnegie eliminated distractions. Why Ford streamlined everything. Why Schwab filtered every task through purpose. Say this: I am the kind of person who protects my attention. I don't chase everything. I lock in on one thing. My time is sacred. My focus is violent. Quality 9. Personal ownership. No one's coming to save you. The men who built history didn't wait for someone to believe in them. They owned their mission. Fully, publicly, privately, always. Say it with fire: I am the kind of person who takes full responsibility. If it's mine, I build it. If it's broken, I fix it. I own my identity. I own my future. Quality 10. Strategic silence. Most people talk. The great build. Edison didn't broadcast the light bulb. Ford didn't post about every idea. Carnegie didn't explain his vision. They moved in silence, and then they showed the world what couldn't be denied. Say this: I am the kind of person who builds in silence. I don't announce. I don't explain. I rise, and when I do, the world will feel it. These are not just words. These are weapons. Repeat them daily. Engrave them into your subconscious. Because every time you say I am, you're not describing who you've been. You're building who you're becoming. This is the code. The new you is not created through force, but through identity. You install it one belief at a time, one repetition at a time, one powerful voice, yours, every single day. Identity isn't inherited. It's installed, and the fastest way to rewrite it is with your own voice. Right now, we're going to imprint the new version of you onto your subconscious mind. Not with empty affirmations, but with powerful declarations. Not with theory, but with repetition. Emotionally charged, deliberate, structured. Because repetition is how the old script got installed, and it's how the new one will replace it. This isn't about how you feel. This is about what you become. Say it with your chest, with your spine straight, with the energy of someone who's done being average. I am disciplined. I am focused. I am dangerous when locked in. I do not flinch. I do not fold. I finish what I start. These are not wishes. These are orders. Because the world doesn't bend for the man who hesitates. It bends for the man who knows who he is and backs it up with action. Definiteness of purpose. The principle behind every fortune, every empire, every legend. It's the core belief that your identity is a choice, not a condition. That you're not here to chase a dozen paths. You're here to own one completely, obsessively, relentlessly. Andrew Carnegie didn't hire men with scattered interests. He hired men with a single obsession. Men who lived the mission, not just spoke about it. You must become one of those men. So say it again. I am not a dabbler. I'm not a maybe. I am locked in. I am building something that cannot be ignored. You say these words daily, not for hype, but for construction. You are building a structure inside your subconscious. You are installing steel where there used to be sand. You are replacing emotion with conviction. And the mind listens. It rewires based on repetition with emotion. That's not woo-woo. That's neuroscience. That's how Edison visualized the light bulb long before he held it. That's how Ford built cars in his head before they were ever on the streets. They repeated, they declared, they believed, and then they became. Now it's your turn. Say it again. I rise, I finish, I build. I am not moved by my mood. I'm moved by my purpose. This is your new script, and you don't speak it once. You speak it until you embody it, until it echoes in your actions, until your old self can't keep up with the pace of who you're becoming. This is not motivation. This is identity engineering. Your mind will believe whatever you repeat. So give it something worth believing. Because every time you say, I am, you're not describing yourself. You're creating yourself. So say it one more time for the man you're becoming. I am relentless. I am consistent. I am not who I was. I am who I decide to be every day. And today, I choose to rise. There is a war happening inside you, not outside, not in your job, not in your circumstances. Inside, in the deepest part of your mind, a battle between who you were and who you're becoming. And every time you hesitate, every time you say maybe, every time you retreat back into the old version of yourself, you're feeding the wrong side. You've been running on a program, not one you chose, one installed by others, built from fear, repetition, and survival. A program written by your environment, your parents' doubts, your teacher's limitations, your own failures. And that operating system, it's outdated, it's slow, it's reactive. and it's been sabotaging your future behind the scene
For years.
That story you keep telling yourself about why you can't, why it's not the right time, why maybe you'll try later, that story is not yours. It's the virus in your code. And you don't fix a virus by negotiating with it. You delete it. One must be willing to burn his ships and cut all sources of retreat. That's not just a quote. It's the entry fee for change. If there's a way back, you'll take it. If there's an excuse, you'll use it. But if there's no way out, the only direction is forward. That's how transformation starts. Look at Henry Ford. The world laughed when he envisioned a horseless carriage. But he didn't ask for permission. He didn't ask, "What if I fail?" He said, "Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right." And he believed he could. Every day. Until he built an empire. He didn't negotiate with doubt. He killed it. You have to do the same. Kill the idea that you are your past. Kill the need to explain yourself to people who gave up on their own evolution. Kill the voice that says, "Rest," when it's time to build. You're not here to maintain who you've been. You're here to replace him. Because the man you're becoming, he doesn't fold under pressure. He doesn't ask, "What if it's too hard?" He expects it to be hard. He wants it to be hard. Because he knows pressure is where identity is forged. But here's the truth. Nobody wants to admit. You can't become that man and keep the old version alive. One of you has to die. You can't be both focused and distracted, both relentless and reactive, both disciplined and emotional. You can't be who you were and who you're becoming at the same time. One of them has to go. And you already know which one it is. So, burn the fallback plan, cut the safety rope, kill the old identity, and walk forward like a man who decided not because it's easy, but because it's necessary. If you want to change your life, don't wait for a miracle. Create a ritual. Because transformation is not a lightning strike, it's a repetition of fire. It's the slow, daily burn of doing what average men avoid. It's not about hype, it's about installing a new identity, brick by brick. Here's your blueprint. The first 10 minutes of your day are sacred. No scrolling, no distractions, no reacting to the world. This is your time to command your mind before anything else tries to. You sit down, you breathe, and you speak your identity out loud. I do what I said I'd do. I train my mind. I train my body. I train my mission. I am built for pressure. I am focused. I finish. Not once, not twice, every day. Because repetition isn't boring. Repetition is programming. The stronger loop always wins. So you build a stronger loop. This is exactly what Thomas Edison understood. He wasn't some one-hit genius. He failed over 10,000 times trying to invent the light bulb. But his belief never changed. He visualized the outcome every day. His identity wasn't tied to results. It was tied to the work. He didn't say, "I failed." He said, "I just found another way that doesn't work." Because in his mind, the result was already built. The world just hadn't caught up yet. That's how you have to move. You wake up, and the world tries to tell you who you are. Your phone, your memories, your feelings. But this ritual, it's your rebellion. It's you saying, "I decide who I am. I install the identity I choose." This is autosuggestion. Not hype, not wishful thinking. It's a method, a mental technology, and it works if you work it. Every morning, you rehearse who you are until the subconscious accepts it as truth, until that identity becomes your default. That's how you kill the weak voice. That's how you override the old self. Not by waiting for confidence, but by becoming undeniable through repetition. And if you miss a day, you restart. No shame, no spiral, just reset. This is not about perfection. It's about alignment. You're not what you post once. You're what you repeat relentlessly. So build that identity like a machine. Same time, same words, same fire. Because the world won't believe it until you become it. And when you do, they won't need to ask. They'll feel it. There's a reason you keep slipping back into old patterns. It's not because you're weak. It's because you're unprotected. You're trying to build a new identity without guarding the gates. So let's fix that right now. 3 commandments to follow if you're serious about reprogramming your mind. Commandment 1. Guard your input. Your mind is not a trash can. Stop letting the world dump garbage into it. What you consume is shaping you. Every scroll, every headline, every lazy conversation, it's either feeding your mission or feeding your doubt. There's no neutral. Andrew Carnegie, one of the richest and sharpest minds in history, didn't just hire talent. He built environments of clarity, focus, relentless drive. He demanded that his people study their own thoughts as if they were refining a machine. You want to reprogram your mind? Start by purging your inputs. Cut the noise, remove the gossip, block the drama. Fill your environment with power, not poison. Your circle, your feed, your space, all of it must reinforce your vision, or you will be pulled off course by the weak gravity of mediocrity. Commandment 2. Repeat power. The subconscious mind doesn't care about what's true. It cares about what's repeated. This is how legends are made. Henry Ford didn't repeat random affirmations. He built a belief system that echoed in his thoughts. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. That's not a quote. It's a command. Repetition creates dominance, and the strongest loop always wins. So every morning you repeat. Every night you repeat. You say the words until they stop feeling like motivation and start sounding like identity. And when doubt shows up, you say them louder. You program over the weakness. You layer power on top of fear, over and over, until your new voice becomes the only one you hear. Commandment 3. Align with action. Words are empty if your habits contradict them. Faith is a state of mind that may be induced by autosuggestion, but faith without action, it dies quickly. If you say, "I'm disciplined," but your life is chaos, your subconscious will reject the message, not because it hates you, but because it's not aligned. Reprogramming only works when belief meets behavior. That means no more hoping, no more "I'll try it." It means doing the work, getting up early, saying no to distractions, showing up when it's boring, pushing when it's heavy. You become who you act like, not who you fantasize about. So act accordingly. Cut the poison. Repeat with power. Back it with action. That's how you burn the old script and build the new you. From this day forward, everything changes. Because you won't be walking into the day like you used to. You won't be reacting. You won't be chasing. You'll be designing. With intention, with clarity, with a mind that no longer obeys weakness. You've rewired something deep. Not with hype, not with a flash of motivation, but with focused repetition. You've used the same tool that Edison used to build invention after invention. Ford used to program his belief when the world laughed at his vision. Carnegie demanded from the men who ran his empire definiteness of purpose. And now It's yours. You're no longer someone waiting to become, you are becoming in real time. With every morning, you press play. With every time, you say the words like you mean them. With every day, you choose discipline over distraction. Understand this. The old version of you is not gone because of one video. He's watching, waiting, but he has no power anymore unless you give it back. That's why this message isn't a one-time thing. It's a tool. It's armor. It's your daily install. You don't play this once and expect change. You play it every day until your reflection changes, until your voice changes, until your identity is locked in so deep that the old you has no place to return to. This is your blueprint, your edge, your reminder that you don't just hope for transformation, you install it relentlessly, silently, powerfully. And if you're serious about this, if you're really ready to become someone unrecognizable, hit that subscribe button right now so that every day you have a weapon waiting, a reset, a ritual that puts you in the right frame of mind before the world even opens its eyes. You don't just need more information. You need repetition, identity programming. So come back tomorrow. Come back every day until the words don't just sound true. They are true. Don't just watch the transformation. Live it.